Hello, friends. It's full moon season around here, and it's raining too, which is, we need the rain, but it was horrible. Drove down into Bethlehem, which is absolutely stunning at Christmas time, for my staff dinner. And we had such a nice time at the Hotel Bethlehem. It's such a historic and beautiful hotel. Because I'm from Bethlehem, spent a lot of special occasions there with my friends and proms and things like that. And so it was really nice to be down there. And I was I mean, when it rains, I get a little bit sad. I don't know. I don't know what seasonal depression is. I try not to have any kind of depression, seasonal or otherwise. But for whatever reason, today I was just, and yesterday, cranky. And I'm not a cranky person. I'm not cranky in that way. Like little things were just irritating the crap out of me. I had ordered a Bridget's cross by an artist that hand weaves them, and I couldn't find it, and I was just like so irritated that I couldn't find it, and I'm like thinking to myself like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, I'm not. This isn't who I am. I'm not, and I had a hysterectomy years ago, so like it wasn't that. Like it wasn't like me having like like that kind of thing. So I'm like, what is going on? So then today, we went down, and I'm always a little nervous. I live in the mountains, and it's deer season, so deer run out all over the place, and it was rainy and wet, and I don't know, like I always worry about that stuff. Not good. So, I was probably a little out of inch about that too, about driving down into the city and Bethlehem not being New York City, but being a city. But I was just cranky, and I'm like, why? Why am I so cranky? And then I realized that it's a full moon. I have a lot of friends who work in the medical field, a lot of friends who are nurses and doctors, and they always say that it's true what you hear, what you read about the full moon and how it affects people's behavior, especially the older you get for some reason, because it affects the tides and all kinds of stuff. And I actually looked it up to see if there was any like actual scholarship or research, and apparently there is. There is quite a bit of a body of knowledge about full moon and mood swings, and I was like, oh, well, that explains it. Then because I'm a little bit more tired than normal. I'm a you know full energy kind of girl, so like if that my energy feels drained, I was like, do I have COVID again? Please don't have COVID again. But it turns out it's probably the full moon. So what can you do? Well, what I did was I watched a funny movie with my kids. It's actually like a riff on the very first black and white version with voice of Scrooge called Scrooge. It's a riff on that, so that made me laugh, and I like went into my head and was like, okay, listen, you're grateful for this, you're grateful for that. You just had this amazing dinner at this beautiful historic hotel, like in this beautiful city at Christmas time, and you're so blessed. Like, cut it out. So so that's how I got out of it. But the moon, like it really does affect you, and so the moon affects you, and also like earthing, like if you have the opportunity to go earthing, which is really just standing barefoot on ground. We've, as humans, have separated ourselves from the earth by wearing shoes and laying concrete down and macadam and all that. So obviously you can't do that in the rain in the middle of winter. Catch some other diseases. But and I was just thinking like, oh, it makes so much more sense, being tuned into the moon cycles. So I don't know a lot about that, so I'm going to try to learn more about it, and then come up with some ways to not be cranky. I don't want to be cranky. I have to drive back and forth from Philly for the next 3 days for a conference, so I want to be cranky down in Philly, because other people are cranky in Philly. So anyway, I am wishing all of you all the best in light and love, and hope you get through this full moon season. All right, be well. Bye-bye.